Amazon FBA, myth or legit? What's up guys, my name is Keelan Clark. I am a 24-year-old Amazon FBA seller living in Vancouver, Canada. And today I wanted to put out a couple of my thoughts and settle a couple of misconceptions that are around Amazon FBA. Last week I posted a small little status update in Derek Struggles Facebook group. Shout out to the homie. Appreciate what you do for the community, my man. Every week I see people wondering, is Amazon dead? Is Amazon FBA dead? Can you make money at this? Or I have failed at this, or people losing money at this. I think there's a ton of misconception that's going on in the space of Amazon, and making money online. So today I wanted to dig into that and kind of give my thoughts on it, and hopefully settle a couple of misconceptions for you guys that are new to it or kind of going through and taking the steps right now. My personal journey with Amazon started back of August of last year, and it's been a roller coaster since. My business is growing. I am selling on Amazon. I'm not going to get into the numbers, anything like that right now, guys. I just want to take this time and take this video to go a little bit more in depth. So if we look at what the basic model of selling on Amazon is, you buy a product for A and you sell it for B. What most people are overlooking is what's all is in between, guys. So when you go to actually on Alibaba and you start sourcing out different manufacturers and you start talking and you start negotiating prices, you need to look at all the costs included. It is not as simple as buying a product at $4 and selling it for $25. There are so much small hidden fees that aren't being spoken about, or just people are just kind of flying by it and until it's too late. So what do I mean by this? Example, each product, you have your FNSKU stickers that need to be on it. So each unit has to have individual labels on it. That cost is not included in your purchase price for most cases. So usually it's around 5 cents per product. It depends on how many units you're actually ordering, but that's a cost. Then you have to think about different labor fees. Some manufacturers, they'll send you your quote, and then later on they'll give you a labor fee. Well, they say we need to we need to stamp your logo on it. We need to do X, Y, Z. There are a couple times when you're dealing with manufacturers where there's hidden fees all of a sudden. It is extremely important, and my number one tip for you guys when you are negotiating is to ask, what are all the fees included to get my product out the door and into the fulfillment center? Which leads me to my next topic, shipping. Shipping is a really big deal, guys. If you're shipping it by air, by sea, it doesn't matter. There still are different expenses for each. When you're looking at your cost of goods sold, you need to include your shipping fee. You need to include your import fee. Anytime you're bringing a product out from another country into another, there's import fees associated with that. For example, my first order was around $9,000. My import fee for that was $385. I had to add that too. My service fee was $315 from the manufacturer. And then when I actually purchased the product, how are you paying for it, you guys? Are you doing a wire transfer through Alibaba? Are you paying it through your credit card? Are you doing PayPal? The most common suggested method for people that are new to this is through PayPal, which I 100% agree, because you do need to protect yourself. The odd time you do come across some sketchy manufacturers, you can do as much research on these manufacturers as possible, but unfortunately we live in a day and age where people do get ripped off. PayPal is great because it does give you that assurance. If something goes wrong where your products never end up landing in a fulfillment center, you can, chances are, get 100% of your money back. The only thing that's not being talked about or overlooked is PayPal. I think anything under $10,000 charges about 5% service fee. So example, mine I believe was around $237, $250. The manufacturer will not take on that cost. I've heard of sometimes people splitting it halfways, but for most part, take into account that you will be paying that. So far we've looked at different service fees, labor fees, shipping, your import fees, and your PayPal. Those all have to be worked into your cost of goods sold. It is not as simple as just buying a product at $4 and selling it at $25, you guys. This is where people are overlooking, and I think a lot of people are making mistakes, is they've gone too far and realized, I can't make any money on this. And I haven't even talked about PPC or packaging. Let's dig a little bit into packaging, and I'm going to give you a couple different examples and show you what I mean. What kind of product are you selling? Are you planning to selling the latest and greatest cell phone? Are you planning on selling a $15 toy? Where I'm getting at, guys, is you have to think about, are you building a brand? What is the perception? What is the perceived value of your product? If you really look into like what selling is, what separates a Honda Civic to a Rolls Royce? Or if you wanted to go up one, a Acura to a Porsche. What separates those two brands? Why is there a different price? If you actually look at the most basic of what those two products are, they are vehicles. They get you from point A to point B. Why is one worth $25,000, another is worth $150,000? It's all about perceived value. When you go and you purchase a new cell phone or a new laptop and you open that up, what's your customer experience? What is the experience that you're trying to portray to your customers? If you're simply just putting up a product on Amazon that's $15 and $20, $25, you probably don't have to think too much about packaging. You can do a basic logo on your box, basic poly wrap, that's okay. But if you're selling a product for $75, $85, $100, if you're selling a $150 steak knife, then there has to be a little bit thought into packaging, which is another added cost. Can you design it? Do you have graphic design skills? If you can, great. You're in luck that you can, bypass that cost. But if not, if you're selling a product for $150, you need to back that up. Yes, you need to have a great product, but there has to be a little bit more substance to when they're opening your box for the first time and you have your brand name there. You want them to be impressed. You want them to have a good feeling about it, because that leads to building a brand. That leads to return business. That leads to people giving suggestions and saying, hey, I got this product from this brand. Check it out. That also has to be worked into your cost of goods sold, you guys. If you're selling a product for, $15, $20, then you're probably okay just doing a simple box. But really take a look at what you want to do. Are you creating a brand, or are you just selling products? If you were creating a brand, then I would really take some time before launching your product and think about what the perceived value, what separates you. How do you differentiate yourself? A lot of people talk about bundling and your listing details, which are all valid points. But when that product actually gets to your customer's door, what's the value in that? I had a lot of people personal messaging me asking about sales tax. And to be honest, there's no one-size-fits-all answer for this one. I'm by no means an expert, and my biggest tip for you guys would be to reach out to a local accountant who has experience with people selling internationally online. They will know far more than I do. Second, what I can add to this is if you're living in a different country other than the States and you're selling within the States, chances are you're purchasing in USD and selling in USD. So for Canadians, example, our dollar is quite a bit less than what the American dollar is. So just because my initial order was $8,000, well, I have to take into account what that is in Canadian and work that in again as my cost of goods sold. Because as soon as I take my money out of Amazon, once I have sold my units, and if I don't keep that within my American bank account, I lose money on that. So these are my point that I'm really trying to drive home, guys, is there are so many different variables and factors that will, at the end of the day, affect your margins. Please take your time. This is not a rush, the gold rush where you need to get in right away. Take your time, be smart, and just really evaluate whether this is something that you want to do. Amazon FBA is not a get-rich-quick scheme. I hope that I've kind of demonstrated that. You are building a legitimate company. You're building a business. If this is something that interests you, then 100% pursue it. If this excites you, then pursue it. But if the thought of just having a ton of money and driving around in a Lambo or having cars and nice girls around you, if that's your only driving factor to pursue, think again, guys. Please think again. You are building a legitimate company. It takes time. It takes effort. It takes hustle. And it just comes down to a numbers game. I'm hope that you guys can see this. If you guys want more videos like this, I'll do them. I don't mind, sharing. I want to bring as much value to you guys as possible. You can send me, a message on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, once in a while. So my 3 action steps for today are: 1, take your time and really think critically on each step. Make a list. Start forming a list and everything you're seeing on YouTube and all the content that you're consuming. Make a list and try to really wrap your head around each different stage of it, because the earlier you do that, the better off you'll be. 2 is to take your time and do not rush. I know it's very, very exciting, especially in the beginning, the thought of, crushing it and making a ton of money, and you can get kind of caught up in that hype. But really, really take your time, guys. And if this is something that you really want, you can make it happen. You can. My 3rd and final action step for today is read a couple books. Read a couple books that are going to get your mind kind of wrapped around selling online, that will encourage you and that will actually make you think critically and start, prompting you to ask different questions that you've never done. Up until August of last year, I had never done anything online. I had all physical businesses, mainly in the hospitality and service industries. The whole reason why I got into this is because I wanted to be able to travel and I wanted to have that kind of laptop lifestyle. I've linked 3 books down below that have greatly helped me along this journey that I still go back to today to refer to. If you haven't read them, check them out. Let me know your thoughts, guys. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below. I'll try to get back to them as fast as possible. And yeah, appreciate you guys watching the video. Hopefully you've gotten some value of it. Anyways, go out, take action, guys. Cheers.